friends, Dustin here. You're watching the Life of Lynn channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Sorry about the noise, but I do have all my heaters on and the fans and the wood stove. And yes, we're in the new shop. And look, I've made a thing. I made a double barrel wood stove, thanks to Z donating that kit. That's awesome. We've got solar power still hooked up back here. Got the breaker box set. I think I'm going to be doing a lot more solar panels on the shop because it's actually kind of nice having lights that don't affect your utility bill. We got updates on the new shop. It's cold in here, as you can see. Trying to warm it up a little bit. It's a blizzard outside right now, and this is a really big space to heat. I've got enough room in here. I got all my supplies. I've got a trailer. I've got Bob's in here. That's awesome. Look, a door. The shop has a door. We're just waiting for a couple pieces of trim and some sealant and stuff, and this thing will be 100% done on my guys' ends that built it. That just leaves me to finish up the electrical inside here and build my office, but we can do that while we're working on projects, which is great. Got the Duramax in here. Got a whole row of cars over there. I don't have the lights on over on that side. No reason to tax my batteries right now on a cloudy day. We've got the van right here, which we are actually doing some work on right now, and the purpose of today's video. So, huge updates. Shop door is the biggest thing. I can keep the snow outside, and well, guys, it's snowing pretty good out there. Yep. There's the bus. This thing's a lifesaver for the shop. Although crude in design, what you basically have here is two metal 55-gallon drum barrels and a bunch of pipe and some brackets to hold it together. Fire down in the bottom. Toasty. Yowcha. Then you throw a fan right here. Blows right through. It's gonna heat up my workspace over here. I got tools and toolboxes still coming from another shop. We're just now starting to move stuff in, trying to build as many benches as possible, so this shop is very convenient. And I always have a workplace. I'll have a wood section, a welding section, mechanical tools section. We'll have woodworking tools section, and hopefully a lift right where this van is sitting. Which brings me to the point of today's episode, which is our 88 Ford Econoline van. It is coming along. It's looking quite nice. So if you guys remember from the first episode, I picked this thing up from a friend of mine. It passed away about a year ago, and the van had just been sitting. So cosmetically, our biggest issue was these back doors. They'd been hit. I found a set of those at a junkyard. We're going to be getting those probably tomorrow when the weather calms down a little bit. Let's look inside. All right, inside the Econoline conversion van. Look at this. I've moved the good seat up front, so we got a nice driver's seat now. Check out back here. What? We got a lounge area. We've got a table with drink holders. We've got a couch that folds down into a bed. We've got lights. We got all kinds of good stuff going on in here. It is looking really sharp, actually. So cosmetically, all is pretty much good here. I got a little bit of cleanup, a little shampoo on the seats, and she'll be good to go. I've got some pretty big news on the engine side. Yeah, remember this mess? Well, I figured everything out. I started doing a tune-up on this thing, did cap, rotors, plugs, wires. Actually, I still got plugs I got to put in it. Started cleaning out the vacuum line system with some spray, clean the throttle bodies, all that sort of stuff. And as I was putting everything back together, I noticed this little plastic tube right here. This one going here. Yeah, it had way down there, back on top of the engine, 2 holes from a mouse in it. And guess what that vacuum line goes to? That's our manifold absolute pressure sensor, and that determines our air-fuel ratio. And that's why this thing was running like garbage, and why the catalytic converter was glowing bright red after idling out in front of the shop for a few minutes. This thing was loaded up with fuel because it thought you were running full throttle when it was at idle. So, I did the whole tune-up, which was good, it needed it anyway. And then we fixed that vacuum line and hooked it up to that map sensor, and holy smokes, This thing runs good now. I think we're gonna throw a set of plugs in here, finish that up, and do an oil change on it. And then get those doors and hang them up on the back. And then this thing is gonna be a church-going rig for sure. Let's jump into it. A couple days later, snow stopped. Temperature was cold, -8, I think, Fahrenheit. I found my local salvage yard and I thought, there's no way there's gonna be a set of doors for this 1980s Econoline van. I found exactly what I need. Right there. Another 1980s Econoline conversion van with 2 mint back doors on it. I checked it out to see if there's anything else I needed. The seats mount differently than the one I have because of the conversion company. Use different mounts. But the doors are mint. And the paint's even good on them. It's blue, not the same color blue, but they're blue. So I'm just gonna run with it. I'm gonna grab these 2 doors off here, yank them back over to the shop, get them installed, get that van cleaned up and get some plugs in it, give it a good tune up and get her back on the road. There they are. Pretty good shape. Left the ladder and everything on that thing. Not wrecked at all. So we're gonna slap those on there and get to the rest of this thing. All right, our brand new to us doors are installed and they lined up okay-ish. There's a little bit of adjustment in this hinge here, in and out. Not so much left to right when the door's closed. I think I can adjust that on the inside here, so we'll dial that in a little bit more because we got a nice gap here. It's just a tad bigger up here, and then it's kind of tight in the center. It's not bad. I mean, if it's off, it's barely off, and that's pretty dang good. It opens and closes good. I got our spare tire carrier mounted on there. That's solid. Ladder, good to go. Got our Parrot. He's good to go. I'm gonna scrub all this and have it shampooed just so it's real nice, but we're getting real close because it's getting to be a church-going rig. Yeah, everything works, and I just found this out. Check this out. It's got shades. Holy smokes. Now it's private in there, except for all the other windows that don't have shades. Nice. Getting pretty close. Gonna go ahead and clean up this area back here real quick. And we're gonna jump on finishing up our tune-up. So I just pulled the filter off and our plug. Ford used really big sizes. The filter is a little concerning. Wasn't a Fram, it's a perlator, but I think the valve in here must not be working because that little dribble is all the oil it had in it. So she's probably had a couple of dry starts. Really like it when you buy a good quality filter. When you do your oil change, you have less likely to have failures like that, and those failures can actually make your engine last a whole lot longer, because even though oil pump catches up really fast and within 2 seconds you're going to have oil pressure, that extra 2 seconds of engine on engine component wear without oil, because there was none in the filter to pull on, yeah, it's a little rough. So keep in mind, buy the good stuff. Gonna change the oil in here, check everything else out. I do have to bleed those brakes still, and we're gonna throw those plugs in there. All right, found some tools. Started pulling plugs. Let's get them in the light for you guys here. Yeah, they're not actually that bad. They are Motorcraft Platinum, so they have been changed at some point in time. The gap's still good. You can tell it was running a little bit rich for a while there, but we got her cleaned up. So I think I'm actually just gonna clean these, throw them back in there, and run with it, because spark plugs are getting expensive. And the real issue seemed to be the cap and the rotor. So we got the cap and the rotor and that vacuum line that was broken fixed, and I think she's just gonna run like a top now. But yeah, I'm gonna pull them all out, clean them. Nope, might have to replace that one. Get her all back together, and then we're gonna go for a test drive. Shabam! Everything's back together, all tuned up. Got the oil changed, got the doghouse back in. That's kind of heavy. That's probably the biggest pain in these. You can't just pop a hood to do stuff, because you know there's nothing you can get to other than the air filter and the battery under here. This thing's ready for its first highway test. So let's jump in and give her a whirl. Oh, sounds like an old Ford. Nice. Well, everything seems to be running good. It is. It's breezy today. Look at that guy. He's booking it. This guy, he says I'm off for the day. Oh, no big deal. All right, got a little chunk of highway here. Let's give it thy beans and see what happens here. Oh, downshifted. Sounds good. Oh, it's nice and healthy now. Nice. Yeah, that's probably the speed limit. Right up to cruising speed. I mean, it ain't fast, but it feels like it runs pretty darn good. I got a slight vibration-y type noise. Maybe tires. It was sitting for a year. Maybe rear end. Maybe drive shaft. It's definitely rotational. Not bad, just it's a little low bass note. But hey, you know, just turn up the old Pioneer. You'll be good to go. Take her for a good little lap here. Get everything up to temperature and make sure this thing's going to survive. I'm really impressed how well this thing runs now. It's wild. Well, friends, there you have it. Turns out these old Ford conversion vans, the Econoline 150 in our case, with the 5-liter V8, are still cool. And that's what I set out to prove today. Go ahead and go save yourself one. Seems like the junkyards are even running out of these things, so if you can find one that you can bring back to life, I recommend you guys do it. Because look at all the space you got in this thing. It's the size of the Titanic. Yeah. Super cool. I'm excited that we were able to get this van running so well. I've got some really cool stuff coming up. If you guys watched the Winnebago Brave Resurrection, where I tried to get that Winnebago Brave running and out of the junkyard, you saw that I never got it running, but we did get it out of the junkyard, and it's parked right out front of the shop right now. So tune in soon. In the next couple days, I'll be doing a video on that, because that thing is a disaster. And we're going to see if we can actually get it running for once, so we can drive it in the shop and start working on it. So stay tuned for that. Guys, I appreciate you so very much. God bless you. We'll see you next time.